Greetings. I take this wonderful opportunity to welcome each and every one of you to our teleconference program from the School of Social Sciences in Rakane National Open University. Well, my name is Chamo Yantan from the Discipline of Library and Information Science, School of Social Sciences. And today we have Professor Pramod Kumar as the resource person on the topic job interview, overcoming stress. Well, this is in continuation of the previous discussion which we have had on job preparation preparation for job interview. Well, BLI 225 communication skill has received a huge appreciation from many learners, and this program is also one of the most sought after in the SWAM program. And even for the previous discussion, we have received a lot of appreciation, and we thought, why not we continue the same discussion on preparing for job interview. And well, even though BLI 225 is offered from the School of Social Sciences, and which is one of the courses of BLIS program, it is a very much applicable, to many other disciplines. And in fact, communication skill is very much needed, not only for the students, but also even for the teachers. And likewise, students from many disciplines, in all the disciplines, can get a huge benefit out of this course, BLI 225 Communication Skills. And so today's program, as I have said, is in continuation of the previous program that is preparing for job interview. And we have kept the title as Overcoming Stress. And regarding this program, today the discussion that we are going to have, it is going to be a very important for the learners, because after the completion of the degree, the students will be going for job interview, irrespective of whichever disciplines you have earned the degree. It can be from the management, it could be from the social sciences, interdisciplinary, performing and visual art, or from any disciplines. And so, after the completion of the degree, the learners will be going for a job interview. And for this, it requires, a very thorough preparation in order to be successful in the job interview. So keeping that in mind, we have thought about what about a discussion on overcoming stress in job interview. And as I have said, for this we have Professor Pramod Kumar from the School of Humanities, English Literature, and he has a very very long experience of teaching experience, and he's author of many books, as well as he has published many articles which have gained appreciation from readers, academicians from across the globe. Thank you very much for coming, and I look forward to having a very meaningful discussion.
Yes, thank you very much.
You.
It brings more delight to us when we cater to our students' needs, beyond the classroom.
That's right.
Normally we engage in such sessions, to kind of orient them for their understanding on the pedagogic, the classroom activities.
That's right.
But this is beyond the classroom, so it's very important.
Yeah, thank you. So to begin with, I would like to ask you a question, like how thorough preparation helps in reducing stress level, especially in a job interview.
I think that this is important in the sense that when we think of interview, we think of stress. The first thing that comes to my mind is that stress has to be treated as something natural, No, we take it as if it is something very, very unique to me, to every individual. But let's take it as something natural, as something as part of the process. No, so if we look at it like that, perhaps we can in a way deal with this, negotiate with it in a much better way. No, I mean, if I may give you an example, if you listen to Sachin Tendulkar, who has scored 100 centuries, he would say that before every match I would have a sleepless night. No, so when we are about to encounter and appear for a challenging situation, we will have some stress. That is natural, and that is a suggestion of your sincerity and your preparation, that you are okay. Like if I'm not at all concerned and I mean all the more relaxed and indifferent, then it is a different thing altogether. No, I'm saying that when we are thinking of interview, any kind of stress is natural, and you have to take it in a very positive thing. When you ask me, Dr. Yanthan, about the idea of thorough preparation, I think this is important. Mm-hmm. When you are prepared in the entire multidimensional way, in the sense when we are saying thorough, it means that you are what company you are going to appear for the interview. Have you studied about that company's profile? Have you studied about the role and responsibilities that they have thought of for you? What do they expect from you? What skill sets? How will you present yourself? And then small things, for example, like reaching there early, kind of articulating yourself well, suggesting, showcasing all your soft skills, your manners, your worldview, and your larger understanding of life. So, thorough preparation means that you will be able to sound very, very authentic and confident before the board, and you will be able to serve the purpose of the interview.
Oh, thank you very much. I think you have very clearly elaborated, even though very brief yet very, very clear. Yes, as you have clearly mentioned, when we have to face a job interview, it's very important for us to, it's natural that we get stressed, everyone, and so it's so important for us to have a kind of a thorough preparation. Where am I going?
So what I'm saying, Dr. Yanthan, that stress is your friend.
Exactly.
stress comes as a catalyst,
exactly,
as a support to you. So when we are discussing, for example, I can kind of think about too much about the situation and kind of feel jittery about it.
That's right.
But when I say, stress is something that okay, let me deal with it. Let it be my friend, and I'll go to the interview room and with this, and I'll kind of I mean that's the way. I mean, let's not treat it as something alien and completely as if something has come from outside. It is a part of our mental makeup. When our body begins to deal with any situation, it is a natural thing.
It's a natural. Of course, everybody will not understand and will not take it in that way. But I think it's so important to take it in that positive approach.
Absolutely.
That will help us to, in a way, perform much better. Anyway, going ahead with the next discussion, maybe I would like to ask you, could you elaborate, how familiarity with the interview formats helps also in stress release?
Yes,
right?
It's a very important question, Professor Enthal. Like when we think of interview, I think that we need to understand the entire gamut and dynamics of this term. And when we are saying awareness about the various formats, various types, it is important.
Exactly.
If we look at last 2 to 3 decades, and we basically look at the evolution part of it, we'll find that there's a tangential turn. There is a big shift which has taken place, and the interview process which was there, say a long time back, is no more in the flow. Now it is much more engaging, much more expensive in the sense, they will talk to the candidate about 4 to 5 times now. and it will be, it will factor in so many other factors,
That's
what
right.
you have said there and what is there. Like, for example, like I tell you, they may look at your social media profile also. What are you communicating on the LinkedIn profile, and for example, like, what kind of socio-cultural political understanding that you may have. So this is a complex thing, and I'm saying that awareness of that, what the kind of question that you have shared, that how that preparation is crucial. I'm saying that that orientation and preparation is important, because that will give you a sense of command. That will give you, like, you should be aware that, for example, if somebody is talking to me on the telephone, for example, it all, like, you must have noticed that in most cases the interview process begins with a telephonic talk. They and if you don't sound good, authentic, and complete, perhaps they don't engage with you after that. So first step, you should, when you receive a call from the employer on your telephone, take it seriously. Take it as if it is an opportunity to showcase your best side, your natural side, whatever your personality is all about, what your interview is. Interview, I hope you understand what your internal makeup is all about. So that's something very important. So once you communicate on interview, you will be called about for a meeting face to face. Then you will be called about another meeting, and they may ask you about some information over the email, over through correspondence. So you have to perform at all levels. You have to take everything, in a sense, in a way, seriously. So you may say that not from a very cautious side, but from a preparation side, it will help that, yes, you are taking it in a very in a way serious and kind of in a manner that where you are not casual about it. You are not in a way passive about it. You are not at all, like, in a way, just reckless and kind of, as when you drive a car, you focus there, you concentrate, and you give your, you don't get distracted. Likewise, I'm saying all the formats, when we are engaging with the employer, the interview process, we need to show a sense of kind of not only preparedness, but a kind of aliveness and alertness.
Okay. Oh, yes. As you have mentioned about, like the familiarity with the format, I think it's so important for us to have a thorough preparation, thorough understanding
Absolutely.
on the format. For example, like in the past, the format which was used in the interviews, mostly, the face-to-face interview. But even in face-to-face, it's a direct face-to-face interview. Maybe you may not have to go through 2-3 steps processes. But in today's time, like the initial can be they may just give you a phone call to see, in a way, like, because over a phone call, you can also find out a lot about an individual, right? The knowledge, the communication skills, which is very important,
Yes.
right? So that way, that can also be the first step, of eliminating or selecting a candidate. And so another one is, like, for example, like sometimes you go for an interview, and you may be, they may have a format where they may ask you to have a written, to test your writing skill. For example, like if the job that is called for interview and that requires good writing skills, the first step may be about how, they may test your writing skills, right?
Absolutely.
So that way, it is so important for us to be familiarized with the format. And who knows if it is, not who knows, but I mean, like, if it is something to do with technology, something very much practical oriented, they may have a format where you are supposed to exhibit your skills, your in a way like it could be your technical skills using the laptop, computer, or whatever it may be. If it is a mechanical, maybe it can be something to do with other things. So I think it's so important for us.
And we may also add that interviews are not about a hostile sense of engagement.
Of course.
The general understanding is that interviews are about, like, you go into the room and people look at you, as if they will attack you, and then they may ask you to jump off the window also, just to test your courage. But our learners will understand that interviews are like, they want to engage you for a lifetime, for such a long thing. No, so in the sense that it is important, they are very enabling. They are very, in a way, they will give you a kind of opportunity to express yourself. So, in terms of when we are talking about overcoming stress today, we are saying that don't be fearful. It is as perhaps you know more than them. Perhaps because you are dealing with this situation, you have studied hard, you have earned a degree, and those people, they will come from diverse, scenarios and backgrounds. So if you are going there, don't think too much about it, and take it as it comes to you.
Of course. And of course, like in continuation of the format, it's important to know that, what kind of format they have in the interview, that definitely having knowledge of the format will definitely help us in overcoming stress, right? Otherwise, like if you are just suddenly you went inside the interview and you are asked to do certain things, then definitely it can also create a lot of stress, and you may know, but you may not be able to perform well because you are stressed, Right. That's the reason why it is so important, to know what job we are going and what type of format they will have, in the interview. Yeah. So going to the next step again, I would like to ask you something about a mock interview, right? How having a mock interview is beneficial and how it is going to help in overcoming stress.
Yes, this is important in the sense that, as the proverb goes, that practice makes a man perfect. That if we rehearse and we rehearse time and again, it helps our system, and we are better prepared for the test, also called the interview. So mock interview is in a way you are putting yourself in the process, and you are trying to assess yourself. How do you behave? These days, there are many specialized services available in the sense that they record your performance also, the way you respond, and like if you don't want to go to someone else, you can talk to your friend and you can engage somebody who's aware about the dynamics of it, and then you can if not record, maybe you can take feedback from the other person. And if you, I think that sometimes, because the availability of technology these days, you can do it at your home also. I think it is important that we use all the available resources for that. Sometimes, the way we speak, what we are saying is important, but how we are saying is more important.
Yes.
So what and how, that combination has to be brought out in a very dynamic sense. So it is a process. Sometimes you are a good reader, sometimes you have done everything, you have a good degree, you have good experience, but because of slight, say, maybe I'll not say miscommunication, I'll say discommunication. And sometimes we, for example, in India, we come from different states. There are dialect issues, and we develop an accent. So sometimes, suppose if I have an accent issue, I can go for some accent. These days, there are specialized services for accent neutralization. So when we are talking about mock interviews, it is kind of swimming before the actual test.
Right.
You dive into the pond. You test yourself in the heavy deep waters and see where do you are you able to kind of because interview is in the sense why we talk about interview stress, because it is duration issue. You have to say so much sometimes. They'll say 30, you have just 30 seconds to answer this question. You have just give us your response in one sentence, no? So it is like that. And how like about your posturing, about everything, you can seek somebody else's advice. You can assess yourself also, mirror, talking into the mirror exercise is a long time tested thing. You look at yourself and assess, and sometimes it is very important. And Dr. Jansen, when you are asking me, mock interview is very important. The mock interviews are largely taken up for competitive examinations, no? But for every interview, it is important. And if we look at it seriously, the way we hold eye-to-eye contact with the person, the kind of voice modulation, the gap that we observe between one sentence and the other. Sometimes when we write something, we are so particular about the punctuation marks. But when we speak, we are not, we don't think too much about stressing and unstressing the pronunciation. So this is important.
Yes.
Mock interviews are crucial and help us in a big way to deal with the situation.
That's right. Yeah, as you have said about the importance of mock interview, which in fact, can give us a lot of reflection about our preparedness, right? And during mock interview, you can also discover some shortcomings as well as your strength. So you can overcome those shortcomings by improvising them and strengthen the positive side as well. So the mock interview, why in today's time, it's not only the IAS and IBS exams that has become very competitive, but I think almost all jobs have become very competitive,
Absolutely.
right? And this is also the reason why it is, this is also the reason why it is contributing to the stress level as well, right? Because jobs are less and so many applicants, and we are not very sure whether I will be able to perform well. And since there are so many other candidates, all this kind of, can contribute to, our stress level. And regarding, regarding this, it is like in today's time there are so many methods that you can do a mock interview. You can even record your own response to any questions that you can generate questions, and you can give response to yourself. You can have your mock interview yourself, or you can of course ask some people who are having a
one can generate the tentative draft questions, no? Like if I have some questions, no, so then I can prepare a response accordingly.
Exactly. Everybody cannot afford to go to do an institute for a mock interview, which is quite expensive. So you can just find a way. You can ask some of your close friends, even a family members, to test your knowledge on the job that you are going for. So that way it can really help us improvise ourselves, and that will we will be able to perform well.
Yes.
And of course, relieving the stress itself will help us to bring our natural self, right? Because when we get stressed, we lose ourselves. We tend to become very conscious, and in the process, we are not able to really come up our real self. So when you are stressless, when you are overcome the stress, you will be able to your natural skills and talents can can manifest. So that way, it can really help an individual to perform well in any job interview. Well, this requires a much more longer discussion, and I think which we are going to continue as well. And our resource person, Professor Pramod, has also discussed about the voice modulation, which is very important, right? For any job interview, the voice modulation is very important, because sometimes the way you speak can create a very negative image of yourself, right? So, and that's why it is so important for us to have the proper voice modulation. Anyway, all these things will be covered in the following, episodes. We plan to have a series of lectures on this course, communication skills, and we are really looking forward to having a meaningful discussion on the topic. And we are also very thankful to all the learners for giving us such a good feedbacks as well. Yes. So with this, we come to the end of our today's discussion on job interview, overcoming stress.
On a parting note, may I say that today's takeaway is that a positive self-talk, a sense of deep-rooted self-belief will help you, and treating any kind of stress as your friend, as an ally, and as a as a boost to, as a catalyst to your preparation for the interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you.